Oh, yeah! You know what time it is. That's right, it's time for the Eddie and Webby podcast! Yo, I'ma bust out some theme song action for you. Check it out. The Eddie and Webby show is the place to be. They're talking about beer and pickleball and technology. So if you didn't know, now you know. 'Cause it's time for the Eddie and Webby show.
On today's episode, Eddie and Webby go on a road trip. This is the Eddie and Webby podcast.
No. I did not get replaced on the show. Matt was just filling in for me while I was out of town. Yeah, thanks for the concern, but nothing to worry about. All right, talk to you later. Bye. Oh, hey, how's it going? This is Webby, not Eddie.
And I'm Eddie, and this is our 28th podcast.
Oh, yeah, episode number 28. And I am very happy to say, Webby's back. All right.
Yes. Big thanks to Matt for jumping in last week and covering for Webby, but I'm happy you're back, Webby. Hope you had a good time off.
I did, but it is very good to be back here.
Very nice. Guys, guess what? We are live on Facebook, like we always have been, which is awesome. We're live on YouTube, which we have been as well. But we're also live on Facebook through the Pickleball forum as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And one other area, which most of you probably don't even know of, and that's Twitch. We're live on Twitch as well. So 4 places we're live right now. This is insane. Yep. And this,
yeah.
yep. There you go. Live podcasting here. This is meant to be interactive though, so feel free to throw comments in Facebook, in Twitch, or in YouTube. Webby's going to be monitoring the Facebook comments, and I got the easy job. I get YouTube and Twitch, so I think most of them are going to come in through Facebook. So
yeah, we've already got one from Carl Jarrell. He says he's so confused, and we're both kind of confused right now too. I mean, as evidence here, we're all confused here, I think.
Yep. We got a great show for you guys today. And one thing that I wanted to talk about is if you do like our content, which I hope you do because we love providing it, feel free to go onto YouTube, give us a subscribe. You can like our videos. You can also follow or like us on Facebook. Or for those of you that know of Twitch, you can follow and like us there as well.
Absolutely. But yeah, it's great to be back. I feel like it's been forever since I've been on this podcast with the time I was away, but I definitely have to give a huge shout out and thank you to Matt Loria for filling in for me while I was gone. He did an excellent job, and Eddie and Matt both did an awesome job. I thought it was a great episode. So kudos to you guys for holding down the fort while I was gone. You did a great job.
We had big shoes to fill, but thank you for that.
Speaking of shout outs, I actually do have a couple shout outs I want to do here to kick things off. The winner of the episode 25 prize pack, his name is Mick McCool, and I think we have a photograph of Mr. McCool, and there he is. He's showing off the Eddie and Webby hoodie that he won, proudly showing it off. He also won an Eddie and Webby moisture wicking t-shirt. So thank you very much, Mick, for being a fan of the show, and congratulations on winning probably our best prize that we've given away yet. So everybody out there, stay tuned because you never know when we're going to do a giveaway. It could happen at any moment. You never know. You really never know.
You never know.
And I want to do one more shout out here at the beginning, and that is to a fellow USAPA ambassador that I recently met, and her name is Lois Gartland. She's the ambassador for the East Tawas, Michigan area. I had the pleasure of meeting her and playing with an awesome group of pickleballers up in East Tawas, and I did a video and posted it recently, and Lois left a really nice message here. And she said, thanks for visiting the Tawas area and playing pickleball with the Tawas Area Pickleball Association players. We enjoyed meeting and playing with you and always welcome new players. Thanks for the video. Fun. Come again anytime. Lois, the president of the TAPA, or the TAPA, as some might like to say, Maybe nobody says that, but you never know. They might say that. And I said it, so somebody said it.
That's right.
But yeah, shout out to all those fine folks.
Yes. That's awesome. That's cool.
Do you have any updates on your end, Eddie?
We had some technical issues with episode 27 being live, and hopefully we've resolved those. We're using a little different setup. So for those of you that were disappointed that the live stream failed halfway through, we didn't notice until we were slightly into it. So we just kept it rolling. So very sorry for that. Should be resolved by now. And I was actually surprised, like no comments were coming in. I was like, oh man, like nobody's watching this, nobody's interacting, but that's not going to happen tonight. So that's the only update I have.
I think you guys did a great job, though. There were some technical difficulties. I think you guys handled them really good, and it was a great episode. So good job on handling the issues live on the spot.
Thank you. What's going on Twitter, Webby?
Yes, Twitter. Let me go ahead and pull Twitter up here and see what's going on the Twitter sphere. Here's a comment from Drew Carrymore. This is actually a repeat commenter. I think Drew left a message on the last episode.
He did.
Drew says, at Eddie and Webby, really? I complained about how long your episodes have been lately, and then you go and make episode 27 the longest one yet? I literally can't even.
Yeah, that was a long one, that's for sure. But
yeah, it was a very, very long episode, but I loved every minute of it, to be honest.
We try. Our goal is an hour, and it just, I don't know. We're going to see what we can do tonight to get it down to that. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, let's move along. Thanks again for that comment, Drew. Here's a comment from Rambo Schembechler. Let me say that again. Rambo Schembechler. I think that's right. At Eddie and Webby, Matt Loria did a great job filling in for Webby. In fact, I kind of wish Matt would fill in for Webby much more often moving forward. Ouch.
I mean, I think Matt did a good job, but it's not the Eddie and Matt show. It's the Eddie and Webby and sometimes Matt show, I guess.
Right. I mean, I thought Matt did a great job, but yeah, hopefully he doesn't fill in for me a ton. I mean, I like being on the show sometimes, but anyways, let's go on to the let's do one more Twitter comment here.
Right.
This one comes from Phil Pickleson at Eddie and Webby. That was a great episode with Andrew from Pickle and Pints. He is a friggin' genius. Combining pickleball with craft beer is a match made in heaven. Nice. I like that. I agree. It is a match made in heaven, and Andrew was a great guest, and I'm glad you guys were able to have him back on episode 27.
Yeah, 2-time. He was our first guest. He was our first guest to come on for a second time as well. So that was pretty awesome. That was great that he was on there. I can't believe how much success he's been having. Really excited for him.
Yeah, for sure. But I say we get the show moving along. What about you?
Yeah, let's do it, man.
So let's get to our special guest. Let's just get right to it. I am super excited about today's guest. He is very well known and very active on the Pickleball Forum Facebook group, which we are actually live streaming on right now. He is super, super passionate about pickleball. In fact, when he's not playing pickleball, he is most likely live streaming and commentating on other people playing pickleball. You may know him as the Golden Boy. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Please welcome to the show, Mr. Scott Golden. Scott, thank you very much for joining us tonight.
What's up, guys? How are you guys doing tonight?
Hey, we're
doing
good,
great.
man.
How about you?
Yeah.
Doing awesome, guys. I just actually finished playing some pickleball, oddly enough, and then we're rolling right into a podcast with pickleball, more pickleball. So here we go.
Nice. Man. So are you at the location that you were live streaming from? Was it yesterday, 2 days ago?
I am. It's the Springfield.
Oh. Uh-oh. Having technical issues again. Not again. Not again. Are there winds there too? Are there winds in Missouri?
Oh, yeah.
Man.
Are you experiencing 20 to 30 mile an hour winds right now that are knocking out your cell signal?
No.
Oh, all right.
Not at all.
Good.
Not
Well,
that bad.
He's back. He's back, everybody.
yeah.
We lost you for a second there. So where'd you say you're reporting live from?
Oh, this is Springfield, Missouri, and this is the Springfield Pickleball Club, and they've got 3 dedicated courts, actually just to my left off camera, and it's the outdoor tennis surface with dedicated pickleball nets, not the temporary ones that sometimes indoor surfaces. So this guy had a vision to put this in, and he used to live in Naples, Florida, not Naples, but close to Naples. He came back here recently and moved back to Springfield, and so he started this. It's a big warehouse actually that he owns.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Nice.
I was watching the video of you from 2 days ago. The facility looked amazing, man. It was really cool.
It is. It's a very nice facility, and he's got it set up, and that's one reason I wanted to do the live stream, just so people could see what is going on across the country and what they're doing to help grow the sport, as a whole.
Yeah.
Very nice. And I saw that you were talking to Cassandra the other day also. She's actually going to be on our show in the very near future, so everybody can look forward to that as well.
Yeah, absolutely. She's awesome. What a great ambassador for the sport. She's very passionate, just like me and just like you guys, and a lot of other people are just very, very passionate, and she'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So we're getting some comments on Facebook already. We got one from Anthony, and he says, Eddie, I need a partner for the Gamma South Florida Slam Pickleball Tournament, December 16th in Plantation, Florida. Let's play. Webby, do you approve? So, yeah, I do approve, but it's going to be all on Eddie if he is able to make it or not. So I don't know. You've already got a partner if you want to play, Eddie.
Well, Anthony, reach out to me. You can reach out to us directly on Facebook. I'll see what I can do, man. I'd love to play. I'm only a 3.0 player, though. I'm like a 3.4 something. So hopefully you're in the same rating as me. But yeah, I'd be open to it.
So I think you guys could actually do pretty good together. I actually played against Anthony in the Heartland tournament recently. He's a good player. I think he's fairly new to the sport, but he's catching on real quick. And him and his brother pretty much stomped us in the tournament. So.
Well, I guess that's good. Good for them, not necessarily for you.
No, I mean, it was an awesome time. It was a great time. Super fun. We also got a comment here from Jay Hall, our good buddy Jay, a.k.a. Gizmo Hall. He said, hey, fellas, what's up, Gizmo?
What's going on,
and,
Jay?
Nicole Miller says, great guest. So I agree. Yeah. Scott is a great guest. I'm super excited to get to learn a little more and chat with Scott tonight.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So one of the things, Scott, is that we like to get our guests nice and loosened up before we jump into some of the deep and heavy questions here. So I propose that, I'm getting a little thirsty. Maybe we do our beer segment first, and as we're sipping them, we can kind of get into it with you. What do you say?
That sounds like a fantastic idea, guys. Let's do it.
Nice.
Nice.
So what we wanted to do today is have each of us kind of bring in, one of our favorite holiday or winter beers, and then talk about it a little bit. Maybe why it's your favorite, why it's your go-to. And Scott, I'm hoping we can start with you, man. What beer do you have, and tell us a little bit about it?
All right, so my portion of this is going to be a little different because I'm not actually in Alabama right now. I'm up in Springfield, Missouri. I wanted to find a beer that was local to this area that people drink up here during the seasonal time, and I think nice. I found a good one. I'm going to see if I can say that correctly. It's Leinen Kugel. Leinen Kugel is the name of the beer, and all it's right. a Snowdrift Vanilla Porter. That's what we're looking at right here. So,
ooh,
nice.
That sounds good.
Yeah, that actually does sound really good.
Yeah. So I'm going to be tasting it for the first time, fellas. I don't know what it's going to be like, but we're going to test it and see.
Open it up and tell us, man.
All right, here we go.
Yeah.
All right, here it is. This is to the Eddie and Webby show.
Yes. Cheers.
Cheers.
Oh, he was about to get an overflow.
Mm-hmm.
Billy Heron says yummy. So I don't know if Billy has had that before and likes it, but it definitely sounds yummy to Billy Heron.
Nice.
I have to tell you guys, I like it. The Snowdrift Vanilla Porter is a winner in the Golden Boy Pickleball choice.
Nice.
All right. Nice.
And it's a porter. Does it have any other kind of flavors that stick out to you with it at all?
Well, I definitely can taste the vanilla.
Yeah.
Vanilla in it is definitely something that I can taste in it. But no, I mean, other than that, it's just a very smooth beer. So it's not going to be overwhelming for you if somebody's wanting to try a new one that tastes good. It's got a very smooth taste going down.
Nice.
Too. The vanilla is a really, really good aftertaste.
Nice, man.
I think I'll drink some more.
That sounds pretty good.
Yeah,
Nice. So Billy has a question for you, Scott. He wants to make sure, are you at least 21 years old?
I am. I may not look it because I do have an issue growing facial hair sometimes, but in fact, I did shave. I shaved for the podcast tonight.
Nice, man. That's funny. Yeah, I mean,
And,
we actually.
I am 21.
Yeah.
All right, thank you for verifying that. And Michelle Cook says, "Hi, Scott from Middletown, Ohio."
Absolutely. That Michelle is one of my good friends from Middletown. We go up there, traveling through. I was kind of on a Midwest tour not too long ago. It was about a 3-month tour. Didn't even come back to the state of Alabama for over 90 days. And one of the things I did was I came from Texas at the Texas Open, and I came up through the Midwest, and one of the places I wanted to stop at was Middletown, Ohio. And they've got a fantastic pickleball group there. They've got a huge group of people that play. I think they have 16 dedicated courts outdoor in the middle of Ohio. So it's fantastic.
That's awesome. That's great to hear.
Very nice. And Michelle also said that company makes a good summer shandy that is very good in her opinion. So thanks for that suggestion.
I thank you, Michelle.
Webby, what
so
beer?
Eddie, I say Eddie, you go next. I say you go next.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So this beer actually has a special place in my heart. It's from a Florida brewery, a brewery that I've been to a few times. One of my favorites over on the other side of the state. And the first time I had this beer, I was with my friends at Fort Myers Brewing Company at the Florida Brewers Cup, which is up in Tampa area. And basically it's where all the award-winning beers from every brewery are put out. And if you come to this festival, you can drink as much of it as you want. You can walk up to every beer and pour your own, and it's insane. It's this really fun party. And this beer had a line. No other beers had lines in front of them for more than a little bit. This beer had a line that was 200 people deep, and the people at the end of the line got the very last little bit of the keg of it. So this is a very highly demanded beer, and it is the Maple Bacon Coffee Porter from Funky Buddha Brewing out of Fort Lauderdale.
Oh man, that sounds amazing. That sounds delicious.
Yeah, every year I look for it on the shelves, and this year I was at one of my favorite markets down here that sells a lot of good craft beer, and I saw it, and I was like, oh, hell yeah, that's going to happen. So I'm glad I found it. If you guys are ever in Fort Lauderdale, Funky Buddha is definitely my favorite brewery in that area. And it's such a nice place. Their food there is amazing. It's in a really in kind of a cool new hip area of Fort Lauderdale, and I absolutely love it.
Yeah, you know it's a legit brewery when it's Funky Buddha's the name.
Mm-hmm. Right?
Absolutely.
All right, so before I go into mine, I want to read another comment here. It's from Eden Leica, or Eden Lika, maybe?
Lika.
They said,
Eden
Scott
Lika.
Golden, Eden Lika, Scott Golden, the Golden Boy, #Monarch. And we'll get into a little bit more about what that whole hashtag is all about a little bit later. But I'm getting kind of thirsty, so if you don't mind, I'm going to go ahead and grab my beer.
Do it. I can't wait to see what you got, man.
Crack it.
Yep.
Me too.
I'm pretty excited about this. And so I love a good stout, especially this time of year. Once it gets winter time in Michigan, for me, that's stout season. I love a good stout. One of my favorite go-tos is breakfast stout from Founders Brewing. But we recently reviewed that on our show, so I wanted to do something a little different tonight. There's a brewery not too far from me called Rochester Mills Beer Company, and they make a really good stout called Milkshake Stout that I enjoy. But something that I really like this time of year is some of the companies, they come out with some beers that you can only get this time of year. And take a look at this thing that I just got. This right here is the 12 Days of Milkshake Stout package.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to drink all 12 of these, but what I thought would be fun is I'm going to let Scott be the one that chooses which one I drink. So I kind of cheated. I drank a few of these already in the last couple of days, but there are 9 left. So, Scott, give me a number from 1 through 9. I'm not going to show you which one is which. Just give me a number 1 through 9, and I'll pick that number out of the box, and that is what I will be drinking today.
Okay, this one's an easy one for me. My baseball number in high school was number 8, so I'm going with 8. Final answer.
Number 8. Okay, so I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And the beer is Imperial Blueberry Pancake Milkshake Stout.
That sounds amazing.
That does sound amazing. So good choice. I'm glad you picked that one. But there's so many delicious sounding options. There's one. Let me read a couple of these. There is peanut brittle milkshake, German chocolate cake, chocolate cheesecake, English toffee, just to name a few. I mean, they all sound delicious, and I can't wait to crack this one open. And I don't know if you can see it, but Jack really wants to get into this box too. Jack the cat.
Yeah.
He always shows up during the beer segment and never fails.
Yep. He loves his beer.
Isn't
That's awesome.
that funny how that works?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So wait,
I feel like
you said there were 12 different kinds in there? All 12 different kinds?
Yes.
And you
Yeah,
can
all
only-
12 are different.
Yeah.
And most of them you can only get this time of year.
Okay.
And it's pretty awesome that they do that. I love it.
That's cool.
so in reference to the beer segment, I feel like 3 beer reviewer, and I feel like you guys are 6.0 beer reviewers.
Oh, thank you.
Well, thank you.
You're on another level, guys. Y'all are on another level. I'm telling you.
Well, I appreciate that, man. It's I mean, you got to have your passions in life, and beer's just one of ours. So
I love it. Love it.
Yeah, beer and pickleball. I mean, how can you go wrong?
right,
That's a win-win in my book.
absolutely, man. So you're getting the sniffs
wow.
there,
I can
Webby.
definitely smell. I can definitely smell the blueberry coming through here. This smells delicious.
So is it like blueberry pancakes type, like a blueberry syrupy kind of thing?
Yeah, it does. It does
Yeah.
smell a lot like blueberry pancakes. Like it's not just like straight up blueberry scent. It's just it's like liquid blueberry pancake. But not like
Oh
not
my
like in your
goodness.
face like crazy amount. It's just a nice little hint to where you can definitely tell that's what you're smelling, but not too much. Let's
Nice.
see what this bad boy tastes like.
Yeah.
And everybody knows I can't really tell what it tastes like until I do the gargle.
Yeah, you have to gargle it, man. That's just part of what you do.
It's a must.
That's a pretty good beer.
Nice.
I'll be honest, it doesn't taste quite as good as it smells, but it's very tasty. And I'm enjoying it. It's very nice.
Nice. Great winter beer. That's a good one to have at the holidays or even just on a nice snowy day in front of the fire.
Absolutely.
But yeah, this is very good.
Yeah.
Very good beer. I love this time of year. I love stouts.
Yeah. Absolutely. What's your favorite style of beer, Scott? What's your go-to that you'll grab?
Oh man, my go-to is a Coors Light. I'm a pretty beer drinker most of the time. You guys are opening me up to a whole new world of beer. But no, yeah, if I'm going out like at Buffalo Wild Wings or something, if we go out to dinner, I'll just get either Coors Light, Bud Light. I like Michelob Ultra, like stuff like that. Just a light beer. I'm not as big of a connoisseur as you guys are, so I'm a rookie at this. But I'm gonna try to branch out a little more after this. This seems like I need to try some more.
Well, I tell you what, let's make a deal. We'll take you out and teach you all about beer if you can give us some of your pickleball skills. How does that sound?
Boom, that sounds like a deal. I like it.
Nice.
Deal.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
You heard it here. He agreed to it, so.
But if we do get together with that, we have to go to where Eddie's at because Eddie's in the Sunshine State in Florida. So let's rendezvous there. Nothing against Michigan. I love Michigan, but I think Florida's the go-to there.
Well, we'll be together for the Winter Classic, the East Naples Winter Classic. So Not sure if you're planning on
That's
coming
right.
down, but it'd be cool.
Yeah, if anybody
Yeah, I'm
remembers, a couple
considering it
weeks
now.
ago,
I'm
it got
considering
brought up.
Yeah.
Yeah, a couple weeks ago, it got brought up about the East Naples Winter Classic. I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to make it, but I booked my flight. I registered on pickleballtournaments.com. Eddie and Webby are going to be reunited in Naples for the East Naples Winter Classic, baby.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, sir. You know what they say, it's not official till you book your flight. So that's
Right.
legitimate right there. That's a legit.
Right?
Yep. I feel like I
we got a
totally
couple more comments here
stole
I
the
need to get
prize from
to.
Webby, so go ahead.
It's all good. A couple comments here. Cheryl Hall Wyatt says, "Come to Middletown, Ohio. We have awesome players. Just ask the Golden Boy."
It's true. It's true. They do. They have fantastic play. They are the most I would say dedicated that I've seen as far as just recreational play. They show up every single day, most of the time 2 times a day. So they'll play in the morning. This is their regiment, guys. They play in the morning for about 3 or 4 hours. They break for lunch. They all go to lunch together. They hang out, enjoy each other's company. Then they come back and they play an afternoon session. And that's pretty much the everyday regiment for the Middletown, Ohio pickleball group. And that's the fact. I mean, they really are the most dedicated group I've ever seen. So pretty awesome.
Nice. Very cool.
What a cool sport too, where you can do that, right? Where, you know, it's intense, but it's not intense to where it's like after a half hour, you're just wiped to where you can't go on anymore. And not only that, but how it has such a great sense of sportsmanship, and people still get along playing the sport to where, you know, you can be mortal enemies on the court, and the next thing you know, you're grabbing lunch together and then showing each other a shot that you were doing. Like, it just, I love it. It's such a cool sport for that and so many other reasons.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. And Eddie, to take that one step further, what I've noticed is even on the court, people celebrate in the other person's, the opponent's shot. So if somebody hits a great shot, even if it's a winner against you, they still celebrate that and say, "Hey, man, that's a great shot," or "Hey, that was awesome." You know, so to me, that's what the unique part of this sport is, that, you know, you can still have fun and celebrate the success of somebody else while still competing and having a good, you know, fourth match. So to me, that's just one of the unique things about this sport. That's just one little sort of it, though.
Yep.
Absolutely. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Michelle Cook says she needs a beer now too, but it's a little too late for her, and she's not so sure about
it's never
the
too late
blueberry
for a beer.
I agree with
Right?
you there.
It'll help you sleep better.
Yeah.
It does. Yeah, for sure.
But Michelle's more about the blue moon. She said, "Blue moon, baby."
Nice. Well, hey, so man, we have like so many questions and so many things that we want to jump into with you, Scott. So, you know, one of the things we typically ask every guest is, when did you first start playing pickleball? Like, how did that whole thing happen for you?
Okay, fantastic question. Pretty awesome how this unfolded. Without getting too much personal life, I have to give a little background. I was actually married 8 years, from 2008 till the end of 2016. And when I went through, this is the really cool part about how I was introduced to pickleball. When it finally down and everything, and so I was not sure where my life was going to go in the direction it was going to go in. And one day I went to the court. I actually had a new girlfriend, and she wanted to go play tennis one night, like not competitively. It's just she wanted to just go hit the tennis ball around. And oddly enough, I walked by the pickleball courts that night to go to the tennis courts, and we were playing. And during one of our breaks, we were taking like a water break, and this sound, and you guys know this sound. Everybody that plays pickleball knows this specific sound. It was that pop, pop, pop sound off the pickleball paddle. And I looked through the windscreens, and if you know, at tennis courts and pickleball courts, there's these windscreens, and they're not so dark that you can't see through them, but they're dark enough to where you can see almost like a shadow. You're not sure exactly where that person is or what they're doing, but you know, I'm hearing this sound, and I tell Chelsea at the time, that was my girlfriend at the time, I said, "Hey, I'm kind of nosy. I want to know what this guy's doing," because I thought those courts, there was 2 of them. They were just to the left of the tennis courts, and I thought that they were like mini tennis courts, like for the kids. I thought that was like that's what it was. I never paid that much attention to what it actually was. But what was going on was there was a gentleman, an older gentleman, Gene Gautreaux was his name. He was by himself. Nobody else was were on these courts, and he was having a machine, a pickleball tutor machine, actually spit pickleballs at him. Okay, he had about 100 Durafast 40 balls, and I just kept.
Oh, lost the audio feed there for Scott. I'm sure it'll come back here any moment now.
Yep.
He was talking about the Durafast machine shooting the balls or something like that.
More wins in Missouri, just like they were in Texas.
Yeah, those 20 to 30 mile an hour winds.
Yep.
I blame Andrew from Pickle and Pints for these wins.
You back, Scott?
Just kidding.
I think I'm back. I don't know what happened.
He's back.
There.
He's back. So the last thing we heard you say is you said the ball machine. I think something about the Durafast ball machine.
Yeah. So sure was his name. He was hitting return of serves from a pickleball tutor machine, and I kept hearing that sound. And I said, "Look, I'm nosy, Chelsea. I want to know what this guy's doing." And when I asked him, instead of him just telling me what he was doing, he said, "Well, come over here and I'll show you." And he put a pickleball paddle in my first time in October of 2016. And that's the first real experience I had with pickleball. Up until that point, I had never heard of pickleball or what this sport was all about. But I knew instantly that I was hooked on it. I knew instantly it was going to be something that I did for a long time. So really, really fortunate and glad that I said yes that night when Chelsea wanted to go hit some tennis balls. So that's how it started.
Nice. And what other sport? I can't think of any other sport where people get so addicted so fast, because I've only been playing for just over a year and it consumed my life for this whole past year. I mean, what other sport does that to people? I can't think of anything.
I honestly can't think of anything either. And that's, I think, the most unique thing about this sport is that it's so addictive that people find themselves dropping any old sports that they played, any other hobbies that they had going. They just, the common story that I hear a lot, because I travel all over the country and get to play pickleball literally in almost every state in America. I've been all over the place playing. It seems like the common theme is that people say, I used to play blank. I used to play tennis. I used to play racquetball. I used to play, whatever, ping pong. And since they found pickleball, they've dropped those things and they've literally been hooked on pickleball since that time. And I think that, to me, is the most, again, just unique thing about this sport. It's just growing like wildfire right now.
Oh, yeah. And for me, I was addicted to disc golf before pickleball. That was anytime I had free time, I would play disc golf, even if I had to do it by myself. I played disc golf as much as I could, and I still love it. I still play it, but my amount of disc golf playing dropped drastically once pickleball entered my life.
Yeah,
it's just the way it is.
Yep, it's the way it goes, man. Like, yeah, you find the sport that you love, and it's like, why would I go waste my time doing that when I could be playing pickleball? I used to golf probably, I don't know, 2 times every 3 weeks or so. I haven't golfed in probably a year, since I really started getting into pickleball, because it's like, if I'm going to do something, I want that to be my pastime.
Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure. So, Scott, how frequently would you say you play pickleball in any given week?
Oh, goodness. Well, for the first 6 months, I played 7 days a week and sometimes multiple times a day. I remember the thought process for me was, hey, look, at the time I was 32 and I said, well, I think I can be pretty good at this sport. I think I've got what it takes to be good, but I knew I wasn't I'm not 19 years old anymore. I'm not 20 years old. So I knew my learning curve needed to be shortened. And so the way I was able to improve quickly was I literally just immersed myself in the sport. I just figured, hey, I need to play as much as possible. I need to get on the court,
Uh-oh. I think we lost them again.
All right. Well, while we wait for Scott to come back, we've got a couple more comments here. Ted Bryson says, Coors Light. Come on, man. I feel like Ted could be a good friend of Glenn's.
Yeah.
They could hang out, drink some Bud Light, Coors Light, have a real good time. And we've also
That's
got
awesome.
a comment from Glenn Lucy. Glenn says, 10 viewers, a record for the Tin Boy.
That's a
I think
lie.
Scott's
I-
back. You
Lucy.
heard that, didn't you, Scott?
I did. Glenn Lucy, my arch nemesis.
We know he's full of crap because typically I see the view count for a lot of your videos and it's way beyond 10. Couple zeros
Yes,
beyond 10. Yeah. That's funny.
Yeah, Glenn. Listen,
Okay.
let me tell you about Glenn. Glenn Lucy guy. He likes to give the first time at nationals just a few weeks ago, and he's a good guy, man. I mean, I think people wonder sometimes, like me, or do we hate each other or whatever? You know, what's the deal with us? But you know, at the end of the day, he's a great pickleball player. He's a great guy, and I actually don't mind the little bit of razzing that he does to me. I mean, he gives me a little bit of a hard time, but I got thick skin. I can take it.
Nice. Is he the guy that rollerbladed on the pickleball courts like a month or two ago? Do you remember? Did you see that? Somebody posted a video of themselves rollerblading on pickleball courts, and he got a lot of crap for it.
Okay, no, I don't believe that was Glenn. I could be wrong, but I don't see
Okay.
Glenn Lucy doing that. But I could be wrong on that, but I doubt it. I doubt it was him.
But Webby, when you said
Cassandra is actually watching.
did you mean like he was rollerblading as he was playing?
Well, so nobody. It was like an empty, it was a slow day, I guess, and nobody was on the pickleball courts. So whoever it was strapped on some rollerblades and just started blading around the courts, like on the courts, in and out, weaving around the nets.
Nice.
Oh,
That's pretty funny.
man.
I'm sorry if that wasn't
is
you,
fun.
Glenn. I'm sorry for saying that was you, but I don't know. Part of me thinks it might have been Glenn. Who knows?
I like it. Let's just blame Glenn.
Yeah. Yeah. Blame Glenn.
Yeah. Even if it wasn't Glenn, let's just say it was Glenn. It's all Glenn's fault.
It was Glenn Lucy.
But Cassandra is actually watching right now. She said, "What up? What beer are we drinking?"
Oh, nice.
We want to give us a refresher on the beers we're drinking tonight.
Yep.
Here's mine: the Imperial Blueberry Pancake Milkshake Stout.
Yeah. Funky Buddha,
I think
maple
we should-
bacon porter. Yeah.
Okay, all right. And I've got the Snowdrift Vanilla Porter. I think we should tell everybody what our alcohol to volume percentage is. Mine's 6%. What are you guys working with?
Mine is 6.4%. So almost the same as
Ooh,
yours.
I
there.
win. I win with 8.2%,
Ooh,
and it's a
yeah.
tall can, so I am going to be trashed any moment now.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I took the bronze medal in the beer review. Like I said, I already knew that though. I knew I was the rookie in the group, but you know what? Y'all gonna have to call me the bronze boy now instead of the golden boy. So
Nice. Man. The bronze
Or as
beer.
Glenn Lucy says, the Tin Boy.
Oh, that's awesome. Man. So
that'll no, it has. It's picked up some steam.
that's awesome. So one of the ways that I actually kind of, learned about the Golden Boy was through a lot of the live streaming you did at nationals. Like, I thought that was awesome. I feel like that's the future of pickleball. Can you talk a little bit more about that?
Sure, absolutely. I would love to. So the live streaming thing was something that I started early on when I started going to tournaments. I mean, I played my first pickleball tournament in March of 2017. It was in Nashville, Tennessee. I actually played 3.5 because I had never, played a tournament. I wasn't sure exactly where I stood. And I liked the idea of being able to film myself playing and then go back later and watch what I did good, watch what I did bad, watch what I could improve on, and then also break down the opponents, in case I played them in the future. I would have a little bit of, video of them and how they played in their style. And so that's how it kind of started. In March of 2017, I just filmed myself. And I got to tell you guys, looking back on it, it's kind of comical because
Uh-oh. I think we lost him again.
The suspense is killing me. Why is it so comical? Why, Scott?
Oh, man. These darn wins.
And he knows
everywhere we go.
He knows how to build suspense, that's for sure.
Yeah. Jeez. Well, I hope we didn't lose him.
Well, while we wait for him to come back,
Yeah.
let's go back to the comments here. We got Bob Schreiber says, we are all pickleholics, never too much though. And I agree. You can't have too much pickleball unless, I guess if you have like a broken leg or something, maybe you might want to take it easy and not play too much, but yeah, I mean, pickleball is so.
I think like outside of personal injury, there's really not a whole lot bad that comes from being a pickleholic. You know, it's not like
right.
It's not like you're a pickleholic and next thing you know, like your bank account's empty. Well, I guess you could be
right.
if you're spending all this money on equipment.
Well, I guess if you're addicted on buying new paddles, that could lead to some problems. You could possibly lose your home over the. Yeah. I mean, that's like the good ones are like $150 a pop.
Mm-hmm. That's
but
true.
I do think Scott is back. So you got to tell us. The suspense is killing us. What was so comical? That's the last thing we heard you say. Is something was so comical.
Oh my gosh!
What was
yeah.
it?
So, well, it's live streaming yourself when you're playing at 3.5, and then when you go back later, when I've reached I think I'm a 5.326 or something now, but I'm a very low 5.0, and I get to go back sometimes and reference those videos and go back and just, have a good laugh. I mean, I had no idea what I was doing back then, but I didn't know that at the time, right? Like, I didn't know. I mean, I knew what I knew, which was the 3.5 level. And so it's just fun to go back and reference that stuff and say, man, I really didn't know what I was doing. But the one thing that I've always had is passion. You can see it on the court with me. You can see it in the interviews and the live streaming. I'm just a passionate guy about whatever I do. And so even watching myself at 3.5, those videos, going back and watching it, you can see the passion in what I'm doing there. And, I got a quick story on that. I played for the gold medal match. It was the 3.5 mixed doubles. I played with a woman named Donna Land out of Huntsville, Alabama. And we were playing this gold medal match on Sunday night at like 9 o'clock at night. And that's when it started. It was the best 2 out of 3. And I just remember Stephanie Lane and her daughter, Lee Ellen, they were there watching. They stayed late and watched the last match. We were the only match going at the end. And after we won the gold medal, I was celebrating, and I thought I was so good. You know what I mean? I had no idea how not good I was. But at the time, I was so proud of myself. We won the gold, and I was proud of Donna. And I remember talking to Stephanie afterwards, and the one thing she said to me was not like, wow, your pickleball skills are fantastic. They're great. You're an amazing player. You know what she said? The words she used was, she said, I can see the passion and the energy that you convey on the court. She said, it's contagious. She used the word contagious, and it really stuck with me because I didn't know what I was doing back then. But the one thing I did know is that when I have that passion and that energy, my partner is able to feed off of that energy and that excitement. And so a lot of times what you lack in skill, you can make up for with positive attitude, just that positive energy and that vibe that you give off. And that's what I remember the most about that time frame, was that I just knew I loved the sport. I loved playing, and I loved competing. That's the biggest thing. I loved competing.
That's awesome. Yeah, I'm totally with you too, where I feel like the energy that you have with your partner can totally make or break it. And since you're such a strong force, it's probably hard for your partner to even get down and get negative because you're always there to be able to pick them up and carry them. So that's an awesome trait, man. I wish every experience I had with a partner was exactly like what you're talking about there.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. I mean, I think the passion and the excitement. Yeah, the passion and the excitement is something that definitely I think you can use that as like a sixth man in basketball, or like a 12th man in football. Like, you can use that to create momentum and things in pickleball, that what I call the intangibles. There's physical talents and abilities that people have, but there's some traits that some people possess that, you can't necessarily teach, right? And part of that is the passion and the excitement and the energy that you can bring to a partnership. And it does take two, though. If you just have one, it can still be a little bit off. But if you have two people that really gel and they have court chemistry, what I call court chemistry, you can really create like a force. And you might not be the best team physically, but you can make up for some of that with that passion and that drive and that excitement. And I've seen it firsthand. So.
Yeah, and speaking of passion, I mean, I got to tell you, you've got to be one of the most passionate players I've ever encountered. I mean, you live stream like crazy. I can tell you're genuinely having a great time no matter who you're playing with. When you're not playing and when you're commentating on the matches, you're so into it, and I love your commentating style. I love it. I love everything that you're doing with all the live streaming and stuff, and it just I feel like it always puts me in a good mood seeing your live streams because they're just fun and awesome.
Well, I appreciate that, guy. I know that I'm not everybody's cup of tea, right? So there's going to be some people that are always going to have something critical to say or something to critique, or, I mean, that's going to be part of the process. But the one thing that nobody can argue with is that when I do a live stream, I go all in, just like I do with anything in life. I go all in. I'm 100% sold out to it. And I think that what I try to do with my live streams is simply let my passion and my energy and excitement for the sport be conveyed through my live streams and my commentary. And, what I think separates me maybe from other people who do live streams is that I get to know the players personally, right? I'm a very relational person by nature. That's kind of how I'm wired. And so it fits right into how I kind of live my life anyway. I love building friendships and relationships. And so when I'm doing a commentary on a gold medal match and I've got either, personal friends playing in that match, or if it's somebody that I've met for the first time, I try to get to know them a little bit better. And that way, when I'm giving people that are watching, I'm giving them that information, it comes across not only genuine and legitimate, but it's also that, I really do know about that player. Like, I know the backstory on them. I know how they came up in pickleball, or where they're from, or what their background in a racket sport is. Or sometimes it's the idea that, I can see that their style's a little different. Okay, maybe I watched them before I did the commentary, and then I'll talk to them about that style. How did you develop that style? And that way I can give the viewers something about that person that's unique and kind of special. And also I try to find out what their names are. Having the names of the players is so crucial when you're doing comedy. It's so crucial.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. And you can tell that you definitely take that extra step. You talked a little bit about chemistry, and I went back and watched some of the videos of you and Edward Bailey playing together, and you guys seem to have that, man. You had almost like this, I don't even know how to say it, like this youthfulness about you guys, where you were serious competitors, but it was also like watching, I don't even know, like kids playing, right? There was like this kind of joyous feeling that you had out there. Was that legitimate? Is that really what it was like?
Oh, absolutely. Let me tell you something, guys. I've played with a lot of different people, a lot of different partners. And the thing about Ed Bailey and I is, number one, we're both very passionate guys, just by nature. That's how we're wired. Number two, the court chemistry is not something that you can, it's not even something I think that you can teach or work. You can work on it. But I think when you partner with a certain person and you get on the court for the very first time, you just kind of know. Like, you go, man, that energy that my partner's conveying, and that's really just like bleeding through everything in him is just passion, right? And passionate about this game. That's what I look for in a partner. I don't necessarily need to have the partner that can hit every third shot perfect, or every play be just to perfection. What I really look for in a partner is what you were talking about with Ed Bailey, is like, when we get on the court, not only are we a good fit for each other and we play well together, but that we don't have to work hard at being partners. It comes natural. It flows. Okay. And so when I stepped on the court for the very first time with Edward, I knew instantly, like, we were going to be long-term pickleball partners on the court, because I'd played with so many other partners, and it was like trying to put that piece of that puzzle in a spot that it doesn't fit. you can't force that piece to be where it's not. And so many people that I played with, it was like, they were great people. They were really friendly and nice, but I never really got that true, like genuine court chemistry with somebody until I met Ed Bailey. And, it's funny because even my mom and dad, they've seen me playing for the last 2 years, but they've never really been to a tournament until Hiawassee, Georgia, which was not too long ago. They showed up. It just the way it worked out, they were already kind of camping in North Georgia. I had no idea they were camping. And I called them up one day during the week and said, hey, I'm going to be in Georgia playing, and just letting them know what was going on. And they said, hey, we're actually there. We're in the area. So it was the very first time that they got to see me play. And it just so happened that me and Ed Bailey played together that tournament. And my mom actually said to me afterwards, she said, there's something different about you and Ed. She's like, the crowd was watching you guys. They were tuning in to your match, your gold medal match. Nobody was watching any other matches. And we were really exciting to watch that day. I mean, for whatever reason, we were just on fire. And that really, I think, spoke volumes to me about the way you have to have that core chemistry, but it's not something you teach, right?
Right. So if you're partnered up with, like, let's say you're partnered with somebody that might be negative, or like, if you hit into the net or they hit into the net, they're like, they're getting down on themselves. Cause that happens to me all the time. And I feel like sometimes I let that energy carry me down. It's almost like mine's not strong enough to be able to overcome that kind of negative energy that they put out there. What do you do in that situation?
Well, that's a tough question. And, Eddie, if it's rec play, if it's recreational play, I'll just let it go, like water off a duck's back. I mean, you can't get hung up on that kind of thing. And what I've come to realize is, if somebody's that negative on the court, there's other factors outside of pickleball that are maybe bringing that person's attitude down or making them a little negative. Maybe they're dealing with something personally at home. Maybe they're going through, like I did in 2016, going through a tough divorce. Maybe they're just having a really bad day at work, and they go to pickleball and they think that they're going to be able to kind of shake that negative mentality, but for some reason they just can't. And so what I do in rec play is I just try to smile, have a good time, try to get through that game the best I can. But no, I mean, Eddie, there's nothing you can really do with that situation other than try to remain positive and just get through that game the best you can. Sometimes there's just really nothing you can do there. But in a tournament, I'm going to call a timeout. If my partner is getting too negative, I'm going to call a 60-second timeout, and I'm going to have a conversation with them and say, look, I'm positive. I got to have a partner who's being positive, and vice versa. If I'm the one that's being negative, I'll expect my partner to, get on me a little bit and say, hey, look, I respond better to the positive. So that's kind of how I handle that, Well,
that's good. Thank you.
Yeah. And going
Sure,
back
no
to
problem.
your live streaming and podcasting, one match that stood out to me from the Nationals is the match with the sisters, who are really good friends of us here, big supporters of the Eddie and Webby podcast, and that is Andrea Coop and Maggie Raminzi. I loved the coverage you had of that game. That was a very riveting and exciting game to watch. And just your commentating style was great because you gave kind of a backstory during it, and you really portrayed like the emotions they were going through during the match. And it just that match really made me realize like how good you are at doing the commentating while these live matches are going on. It's like how do you get into the zone during these live matches, like when you're commentating on them?
Sure. Yeah. So there have been times when I'm commentating where it's hard to get into that zone because maybe there's some people standing close to me that they don't not that they don't want me commentating, but maybe I'm a little too loud. I'm a little too talkative through the match. Some people don't respond as well to it. So there's times where I can't really get fully into that mode. But when I'm able to, and that was one of the matches that I was able to get into that mode, and part of that getting into that zone was there were some people standing just to my left and just to my right that I could tell they really enjoyed my commentary while I was doing it. Was unfolding in front of us, and they were listening very keenly to what I was saying, and they were really actually I think processing the stuff that I was really kind of saying. And one of them came up to me afterwards, and this is kind of how I know that they were into it. As soon as the match ended, I turned off the camera. They came up to me and they said, "Hey, listen, I really enjoyed listening to you give us some of that inside information and kind of that, detailed stuff that we don't necessarily get when we're just watching the match." Okay. So that was one reason I think I was able to get into that zone, is because I felt them kind of getting into it with me. And there was a couple of times where I kind of looked over to my left, like, you know what I mean? And I would say, like, you know what I mean, to them. And they're shaking their head, nodding their head. Yeah, I do. So that's kind of how I can get into that zone a little bit more when I think people are responding to my commentary.
That's
yeah,
awesome.
I thought that was great. Like that's it was one of the first matches I've seen of yours where you were doing commentating during it, and I was blown away. And it like the match itself was awesome to watch, but like I think with your commentary added to it, it just had me on the edge of my seat. It added some extra emotion and drama to it. It was awesome. So I really appreciate when you do that.
Well, thank you. That means a lot. I mean, I really do think that, that's one of my big passions other than pickleball is that, so.
Cool. Yeah, that was awesome, man. So one of the things we wanted to talk about was your Mevo. So, we kind of talk about tech on this podcast sometimes here. We skip it quite often, but I know that you had an issue where actually your Mevo device was stolen during nationals, right? Can you talk about that a little bit? Like, well, first of all, tell us what the Mevo is, and then talk about like what happened when it was stolen and all that.
Sure, absolutely. Yeah, the Mevo is a high definition streaming system, and it's something that when you do enough live streaming, you start looking into this kind of thing. And I found that the live streaming, you need to get the right equipment, to be able to do it effectively. And so just doing some research and kind of finding out about stuff, the GoPro is an option I looked into, but at the end of the day, with the live streaming and the amount of live streaming that I do, it just made sense to go with the Mevo. So Mevo, I think, is the brand, and then, but it's just a high definition streaming capabilities, and it works really, really well. There's an app on your phone that you can use to do all that through the app. So it's very, very easy. It's very user friendly. And I mean, I had it for one day at nationals, and I was looking forward to bringing the action to the people at home, the viewers, through a high definition camera. And it was in my bag. Ultimately, at the end of the day, it's my responsibility to make sure I'm watching my bag at all times. But I was there by myself. I didn't have a wife or a girlfriend or anybody with me kind of keeping tabs on my stuff. And I was playing pickup games one night there, and somebody, I don't know who, but somebody went through my bags. It wasn't like it was just sitting out where it was exposed, where somebody could just grab it and run. They had to actually physically go through my bag. And so that's how I know it was something that was a little more in depth. Somebody knew what they were doing. But thankfully, the silver lining to that story is that I had just, gotten that thing, and I was really bummed out when somebody stole it. And I had mentioned it to a couple people, and I don't know how. It was nothing to do with me, but some of the friends of mine in pickleball started a GoFundMe on that website, GoFundMe.com, and they raised the money to buy a new Mevo for me within less than 24 hours. They were able to raise that money. So it was just an incredible story. Incredible.
Yeah, that is awesome. And I saw that immediately. I get alerted anytime somebody does a new post on the pickleball forum, and I saw that post where the GoFundMe was started, and it was pretty quick. Like I was following it, and it was pretty quick to reach the goal that you needed. So that was pretty impressive to see, and it just goes to show you how great the people are, the pickleball community. Even though there was a thief that took your thing at nationals, it just shows how great the community is, because the money was raised real quick to get you a replacement, because people like us, we love your live streaming, and we wanted to make sure that you were back in action as soon as possible. And it's a true testament of how great the pickleball community really is.
Oh, absolutely. No question.
Yeah, that was awesome to see, man. So glad you were able to get your Mevo up and working again to get us all that awesome coverage from nationals. I'm not kidding you, man. I checked Facebook more than I ever have during nationals because I honestly felt like I was able to just kind of like flip through the channels of all the matches that were going on, and it was so cool. And that, you know, it was awesome. It was so great that you were able to do that.
Absolutely. I'm glad I was able to bring
the
live action to the people.
Yeah.
And we mentioned this when Gizmo was on too. Just like, it's amazing how the technology is these days. How everybody, you can just open up your phone, go to Facebook, go live, and show the stuff. People were showing like the parties that were going on there during nationals. Then of course all the matches going on, and it was just incredible. I loved the fact it was a great way for us that didn't have the pleasure of being there in person to kind of relive it here at our homes and our living rooms and stuff like that. So yeah, it was great. I love where technology is these days.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So are you getting kicked out of there, Scott? We have you for a few more minutes. How much longer we got you for?
Oh man, they are wanting me to get out of here, but I wonder if I can just take this right outside and maybe we can continue talking. Is that okay if we do that? You guys want to maybe talk more beer reviews or something? Give me just a few minutes and let me get out of here so they can go home. So I think they're ready.
Yeah, man, that's fine. I'll go ahead and I'll switch off you here for a minute to your
totally
thing.
Fine.
We'll bring it back on in a minute.
Actually, Eddie, do you want to show a music video? This might be a good time to show one of our music videos and take a little quick break and then get back to the action.
Well, I just might. Why don't we go ahead and do that? I will. Maybe our pickleball anthem. We haven't seen that in a while. Let's roll it.
Let's do that. So everybody, stay tuned. We're gonna watch the pickleball anthem. We will be right back after this video. Roll it.
Hello?
Yo, I'm thinking about going to play some pickleball. You interested?
Pickle what?
Pickleball. Don't tell me you've never heard of pickleball.
I can't say that I have.
Dude, you are missing out on something really fun. You know what? I'm gonna break it down for you.
Let me tell you about this game that's sweeping the nation. It's not something that you'll find on Xbox or PlayStation. It's the fastest growing sport that no one's ever heard of. Just give it a shot and I'm sure you'll fall in love. Pickleball! What? Pickleball! What? Pickleball, addicting and fun, that's no joke. Pickleball, and it's not just for old folks. So what exactly is this game I claim is so fun? Well, pay attention, cause I'm gonna educate you, son. It's like tennis, badminton, and ping pong rolled into one. You can play 2 versus 2, or even 1-on-1. The paddle can be made of wood or composite materials. The ball is like a wiffle ball, the main difference is the holes. You can play this awesome game, indoors or out. If you get skilled enough, you'll make spectators scream and shout. The toughest part to learn is how to keep score. I could teach you in this song, but that would be a bore. The best way to learn is to go out and play, and once you do it, you'll probably want to play it every day. It's good, clean, fun, addicting, and fast-paced, but if you're a hater, then I'ma suggest you get out of my face. Pickleball! What? Pickleball! What? Pickleball, addicting and fun, that's no joke. Pickleball, and it's not just for old folks. I'm the serve and the return, be sure to let the ball bounce. But after that you can smash it in the air and try to trounce. The competition is on a mission to make you keep swinging and missing. Get close to the no volley zone, but you best stay out of the kitchen. The lob, the ground stroke, the put away, and of course the dink are some shots you need to master if you do not want to stink. You've got your bangers and your dinkers and people that go ham. If you don't learn how to handle them, you might as well scram. Experienced players like to point out your mistakes. It's best to accept it, and when they're done say, "Aw, gee, thanks." Even if it annoys you and it makes you wanna quit, just soak it in and try to get better, cause you can learn from it. The game is perfect for any age, sex, or race, but be careful or you could get smashed right in the face. If I intrigued you and made you want to learn some more, then check out USAPA and contact an ambassador. Pickleball! What? Pickleball! What? Pickleball, addicting and fun, that's no joke. Pickleball, and it's not just for old folks. Pickleball!
Well, there you have it, folks. That was the pickleball anthem. I love that video.
Oh, yeah.
Man.
And we are back and we are live. And in case you're wondering why I'm wearing sunglasses, we actually got a comment here from Matthew Gear. He says, "Why don't you all podcast live in sunglasses? So disappointed." So don't want to disappoint you, Matt. So I got the shades on. I got the sunglasses on. These are actually the sunglasses I wore in the pickleball anthem. Fun fact.
Fun fact. That's awesome. Speaking of Matthew Gear, Matthew and I got to play together a few times at the Battle for Bardmore. What was that, God, like 6 weeks ago or so? Both singles, mixed doubles, and men's doubles. Had a great time with him. And he actually just took home gold this past, what was that, 2 days? Was it yesterday? It was yesterday at the 2018 AAU Pickleball Outdoor National Tournament in Punta Gorda, Florida. And here is a picture of him with his new shiny gold medal on. So congratulations, Matthew, on that.
Oh, nice. Congrats, Matthew.
Yeah.
Nice work.
You know, he smoked me, so I always feel better pointing out all the people that I play against that beat me and show how great they are. So, yeah.
And I feel like Matthew's got a great point. Like, people might not recognize us without the sunglasses on. I mean, in our logo, we've got the sunglasses on, so I feel like we need our sunglasses on 24/7.
Maybe next podcast I'll put mine on. I totally forgot about them. All right, so I'm wondering if
hopefully Scott comes back.
Yeah, let's go ahead and see if we can bring Scott back here. And you with us, Scott?
I am, fellas. I am. I'm back.
Nice,
He's back.
man.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
It's a little darker.
It's no
It's
worries,
a little bit
man.
darker than where it was because I'm in the car now.
Nice, man. Well, we won't keep you too much longer, but we had a couple of things that we actually kind of wanted to close up here with you on. I don't know about you, Webby, but I loved the interview that Scott had with Kyle Yates the other night, man. That was pretty cool that that you guys had that.
That was great.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's the kind of stuff that I love to do, guys. I love to do the impromptu, kind of relaxed, nonchalant interview type thing with the top players in our sport. And the reason I like to do that is because I feel like it's important for the people that watch them, you know, to get an understanding and some insight into, you know, what makes Kyle Yates tick. You know, what is it that Kyle likes to eat for dinner? You know, because he was eating whenever I did the interview, which I did not know he was going to be doing, by the way. That was part of the impromptu thing. But, you know, I mean, I think it's awesome with our sport that it's not gotten so big and so money driven yet that, you know, I texted Kyle 10 minutes before that interview and said, "Hey man, I just think this would be fun. You know, I think it'd be fun. I think this would be cool to do this interview without any scripting, without any back, you know, pre-planning." And he said, "Sure, let's do it, man." And we did it, you know, and it was about an hour and 20 minutes, I think, that we talked. And what I got feedback wise was that multiple people got a hold of me and Kyle afterwards. And what they said was really, really awesome to hear. They told us it felt like two friends having a conversation where they just happened to be able to listen in, you know, and that's what I was going for. And so, you know, mission accomplished. I mean, that is exactly what I was hoping the vibe would be.
Yeah, for sure. It was such a great interview. And like you said, it just felt like two friends chatting. And like one thing I really loved was the fact that you got a nice inside story on how it all went down during nationals, during their the match, the gold medal winning match with Kyle and Ben Johns. I mean, that was awesome to get the inside information. And speaking of Kyle Yates, like I love watching footage of him playing pickleball. So I can just try to pick some tips from like the way he plays and what he does on the pickleball court to try and increase my pickleball skills. So I do that quite frequently. And also I like that interview so much that I feel like I could pick up some tips on how to get better at this podcast. and to be a better interviewer and to try and recreate something that happened during the interview. I'm going to eat dinner for the remainder of this interview. And
I
so
love
I got a plate of food here. I need to eat this. This is probably about the time that Kyle would be eating his second dinner because he revealed that he eats a first and a second dinner. So I'm going to go ahead and
this is second dinner time for Kyle Yates.
I feel like if I do this, it's going to make me a better podcaster, a better interviewer. So,
and you're actually making me feel right at home because I felt super comfortable doing the interview with Kyle while he was eating chicken and broccoli or whatever it was he was eating. So, yeah, totally.
Yeah,
do your thing, man. Do your thing, Webby.
My plate isn't quite as healthy. He was eating probably grilled chicken. I've got some chicken nuggets here from McDonald's. But I do have some. Now, I saw these chocolate-covered almonds. These aren't chocolate-covered almonds, but these are chocolate-covered cherries. I feel like that's close enough.
Close enough.
So.
That is close enough. That's a close second.
Yeah, that was awesome. Honestly, I like the fact that it was so unscripted, impromptu. You guys just talked, and it was like having two buddies talking pickleball and putting it out there for the world. I thought that was pretty awesome to see. So I hope you get a chance to do more of those, man, because it just felt like two guys hanging out.
Well, and I'm glad you brought that up, Eddie, because after the huge response from that video already has over 6,000 views in just a little over 24 hours. It's been a couple of days now, but it had up to 6,000 views within 24 hours. And because of that huge success that it was and the amount of people that texted me and Kyle saying, that was awesome. That was so cool to get to just see you guys hanging out, talking pickleball, and just really have like a relaxed feel to it, that I am going to be doing something more and more with that. And I got to come up with something catchy. Maybe you guys can help me with this, or maybe the viewers can help me, but I want to do something like dinner with the Golden Boy or pickle dinner with the Golden Boy, something to be catchy that I can do those impromptu kind of things with some of the top pros, and also not just top pros, but like maybe up and coming players, right?
Mm-hmm.
People that are coming on the scene that not a lot of people know about yet, but that are fascinating players, fascinating people. And I just think that's where my niche is with stuff, is like, I think that I can do some of those impromptu things and give people some insight into who these people are. They're not just fantastic pickleball players, but they're fantastic people and interesting people,
Yeah. No, absolutely, man.
Yeah,
that was awesome.
I love the idea. I think it's great. Dinner with the Golden Boy. We'll come up with something. We'll help you come up with something catchy.
I like it.
Yeah.
Well, that'll be awesome. That'll be really cool. So I know one of the things that you like to do too, Scott, is you like to put highlight reels together. I saw the one that you did of the Nationals, and I thought that was pretty awesome. So I went ahead and I put together just a little 20-second highlight video of your interview with Kyle, and I'm going to go ahead and play that now.
Awesome. What's up, man? What's up,
I got
guys?
beans, greens, potatoes, tomatoes, lamb, ram, hog, dog, beans, greens, potatoes, tomatoes, chicken, turkeys, rat. Beans, greens, potatoes, tomatoes, lamb, ram, hog, dog, beans, greens, potatoes, tomatoes, chicken, turkeys.
That's the best highlight reel I've ever seen in my life. You knocked a home run with that one, Eddie.
Thanks, man. I was hoping you get a kick out of it. I had so much fun editing it too. So,
yeah, Eddie said that to me, and I was almost in tears from laughter. I was like, "Oh my god!" No pun intended, but that's golden. That's golden, baby.
That was golden. That was golden, baby. Let's go.
That's awesome. Yeah,
I thought I 6.0 highlight reel.
I know we're making jokes about him eating or whatever, but I am serious when I say I thought that was awesome, and I definitely hope to see more of those from you as well. That would be cool.
Yeah, for sure. I loved it.
Sure.
I loved it. It was a great interview.
And another thing we want to
guys.
be able to do for a lot of our pickleball players that we bring onto the podcast, which if you watched last episode with Matt, we've been doing our Pickle Thug Life series for a little bit here. So we can't have the Golden Boy on the show and not have Pickle Thug Life Scott Golden edition. Let's go ahead and play that.
Oh.
Right?
A nice chest shot.
Yeah. So it's funny. I
Oh,
watched.
that's great.
I watched your entire highlight clip through a couple times, and I was picking all the scenes that were best to be like, oh, that's a perfect Thug Life shot. And like I have a science down to it. Like the person always has to turn and look at the camera after, so you can put the sunglasses on them. And I thought that one was perfect, man, with the nice shot, the nice body shot to your opponent there.
Oh, that's awesome. And a quick side story on that actual shot right there. The guy that I hit, his son is Jimbo Peterson. He lives in West Virginia, and I had played in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, in a regional tournament just before nationals, literally like the weekend before nationals, and I got to meet Jimbo Peterson, the son, for the first time in Myrtle Beach. And he said, hey, look, my dad's going to be out at nationals. It'd be awesome if you got a chance to meet him and maybe even play some games with him or whatever. And I believe Mr. Peterson actually sought me out. I think he talked to his son, and I think he tracked me down during nationals. And that was one evening after all the games for the tournament had wrapped up for the day. And he literally called me out. He wanted to play a game with me, against me, a couple games actually. And when I poached that ball, I don't want to say that I meant to hit him right in the chest, but I was definitely like going that direction. And it was great. I mean, I just looked at Ed and I was like, well, that worked out great.
Yeah. Your reaction was funny too, because you're like, well, it happens, but hey, our point. So that was cool.
It's the way it is. Yeah.
I want to give a little shout out. Somebody recently joined the live podcast they're viewing right now. Somebody named Tyson McGuffin. I'm not really sure who that is, but
Yeah, who?
thanks for tuning in. No.
Tyson who?
Tyson who? I've never heard of him. That's funny.
He must be like outside the top 100. I don't know. Who knows who this guy is?
Whoever you are, thank you for tuning in, Tyson McGuffin.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Hey, would you guys mind if I told a quick story about Tyson at Nationals recently?
Go for it, man.
Go for it.
All right, cool. Awesome, guys. So Tyson's one of those players that is electric on the court. I mean, when you watch Tyson McGuffin play, you're drawn to his style of play. He's just one of those guys that's special. He's unique. And I'd never met him. And at the US Open in April, I didn't have a chance to interact with him and really get to chat with him. But in Nationals, after every night, it seemed like after all the play ended, we would play pickup games. And then after that, we would go out to dinner. A group of us would go out to dinner at like almost like 10:30 at night. I mean, it would be late, and we go to this place called Beer Hunter, which you guys would appreciate, I'm sure, since you guys are 6.0 beer reviewers. But, Beer Hunter was close to the facility at Indian Wells. And the third night I was there, the third night in a row, Tyson had just won the 5.0 men's doubles, gold medal. And I'm sure he was coming off that big high or whatever, winning that. And he was there that night. Okay. So we go to the dinner. My back is to Tyson. Okay. He's about 20 feet behind us. We're sitting at a table, a group of us, and Tyson's just watching, like, I guess there's like a Saturday night or something, I guess, or whatever. So he was like watching some sport on the TV. And somebody pointed out, hey, that's Tyson McGuffin right there. Now, remember, I had not met Tyson personally up to this point. So what I did was I turned around and I looked over my shoulder and I see Tyson there by himself. He was just hanging out. I said, hey, Tyson, come here. I want to talk to you, man. Come over. So Tyson, being the nice guy that he is, he comes over and we just start chatting with Tyson. And I got to tell you guys, not only is he one of the most friendly and just, down to earth, easygoing guys, but we were able to pick his brain and really, really, honest to goodness, learn some really, really awesome insight into the things that he does on the court and why he does those things. Not just, here's what I do, but like, why is it that you do that? And he gave us some really, really cool nuggets. And I walked away from that just thinking, he's the number one, or, him and Ben Johns go back and forth on singles, but he's arguably the best singles player in the world. And right now, currently, I believe he is the number one. For him to come over there and talk to us and just give us that insight, just such a cool guy, man, and a cool story there. So
That's awesome.
Nice.
I've only heard great things about him. That he's super approachable, really nice guy, real down to earth. So that's yeah, I'm not surprised by it. But that's an awesome story. That's cool. You got a chance to hang out with him.
Yeah, definitely. Thanks for sharing that. And one thing I want to get to, we have a very thorough and in-depth research team here on the Eddie and Webby podcast. So we've got a few things we want to bring up that they dug up here. Hopefully we're not digging too deep here into your personal life. But
it's okay if you are.
Is it true that you have an identical twin that also plays pickleball?
I do. That is a fact. You guys did some really, really good, thorough research there. That is true. I'm an identical twin. I'm actually 7 minutes older and 7 minutes wiser than my twin brother, Chris Golden.
Oh, that's
nice.
awesome.
So have you guys ever tried doing the thing where like you pretend to be him and he pretends to be you?
Yes, that question comes up a lot, even in my adult life. When people find out that I'm a twin, that's one of the first questions that I get asked. So the quick answer to that is yes. We one time in high school, we actually switched classes in the middle of the day. We went into the men's bathroom and we switched shirts and shoes and pants, and we came back out and switched classes, and it was fun to see if anybody noticed. And I will tell you that the teachers did not know, but the students started to pick up pretty quick because we look, if we don't speak, we look identical. You would have a hard time knowing the difference. But when we start talking, that's when you can really notice the big differences. He's more reserved. He's the exact opposite of me. You know, I'm very outgoing, social. I don't meet a stranger. He's very reserved, quiet, kind of a one-on-one type of person. He doesn't like big groups, big crowds. So, you know, it was obvious after a few minutes that that the students knew it wasn't me or it wasn't him in that class. So
nice. I know if I had a twin, I feel like I would be doing that all the time. We would constantly just try to be goofing on people. But I do got to ask, what's his skill level compared to yours?
Oh, sure, absolutely. I want to preference what I'm about to say about his skill level with this. He is married with a 2-year-old, almost a 3-year-old now, and he's got a full-time landscape business that keeps him working wide open 6 days a week. So, you know, he doesn't get to play as much as I do, and that is the preface to what I'm about to say. But, you know, he's a good, like, solid 4.0. And on certain days, he can even play with the 4-5 group confidently and comfortably. But, you know, his big issue is he just doesn't get a lot of consistency. And so, you know, he's not all the time hitting the shots that the 4-5s and 5-0s can do. So, you know, I mean, if he got to play as much as I did, I have no question that we would be like the Bryan brothers in tennis. We would be dominant.
Man, awesome. How badass would that be to have a team, a men's doubles team of twins that just dominates the entire pickleball world?
Well, and I do want to say this. We have played 3 tournaments together. 3 tournaments. And we've won 3 gold medals.
Oh, nice.
But the asterisk with that is I'm so hard on Chris. I'm so hard on him on the court. Like, I just expect perfection because I expect perfection out of myself. So I was expecting perfection from him. And he told me after the 3rd gold medal, he said, you know, we're winning, but I'm really not having that much fun with you on the court. He goes, you're too hard on me, man. He goes, you put too much pressure on me. So we have not played a tournament since that. So we retired undefeated, 3-0 in 3 gold medals, and have not played a tournament since. So
nice.
Hey, that's a pretty good record to retire with.
Yeah.
Not bad. Not bad.
That's awesome, man. What other questions do we have, Webby?
So our crack team of investigators also gave me another fun fact that I'd like to point out, and we'll see how accurate this is. Is it true, Scott, that you played competitive travel flag football for 10 years?
Boy, you did your homework on me, man. If you don't know my social security number after this research, I'd be surprised right here. But no, I mean, yeah, that's true, man. I played in high school. I played football. I played, tackle football. and I was always the smallest guy on the field. But I again did anything I do in life, I go 110% in. I go all in on it. And so I actually, believe it or not, I was 150 pounds, soaking wet. And I started at strong side linebacker in high school for a 6A football team in Pelham, Alabama. And the reason I was able to do that is because they called me the Golden Torpedo. I would just leave my feet and just knock people out, man. I would just hit them full blast. And so I gained a reputation in high school for that. But, after I say that to let you know that, that was something I enjoyed in high school, was playing football. And when I became an adult, you have to do adult things. You have to go get a job. And I got married and I was working and real busy. And I thought to myself, I miss sports. I miss doing something that's active and keeps my blood, pressure or blood flow going and gets that adrenaline dump, So I moved into a house after I got married, and just so happened that the next door neighbor was a guy that was my age, and he invited me one day out to play flag football. They were a little bit shorthanded that day, and he just said, "Man, do you want to come play some flag football?" And I said, "Flag football? Like that? I've never played like flag football. That's interesting, or that's crazy, or whatever." So I went out there, man, and just the way I do, I got hooked on it, and I played for 10 years. I actually played all through my 20s, and I actually dropped. I was playing flag football competitively up until I found pickleball, and then I dropped it like a bad habit as soon as I found pickleball.
Nice. That's awesome.
Nice. And then I have one more thing I want to bring up that our research team found out. Is it true that your social security number is 9? No, I'm just kidding. I'm not gonna...
I love it. I love it.
Yeah, we're never going to get a guest again because now everybody's going to be super paranoid about
Right.
we're going to be digging into their past and finding up all this stuff.
The research is hardcore on the Eddie and Webby show.
Oh, well, that's awesome, man. Well, Scott, we can't thank you enough for being on. This was awesome. I know we took way more of your time than we wanted to, but it was such a great conversation. I think it was. I don't know about you, Webby, but I feel like I got so much from this, even in the short time that we spent together. It was awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, very awesome. The only other thing I can think of to bring up is, and we teased it a little bit earlier, somebody said #Monarch. Why did somebody put #Monarch? What does that mean?
Oh, awesome question, man. Awesome question. Yeah, a lot of people have been asking me that lately. And, here's the thing, guys. In 2017, I played in over 30 tournaments. It was something that I just knew to get better, I was going to have to expose myself to pickleball outside of my hometown. And so I hit the road in 2017 and really did get a lot of windshield time in my car driving. I remember times in particular in the summer of 2017, I drove, left work. At the time I had a full-time job. I worked Monday through Thursday, and I hit the road on Thursday afternoon. And I remember driving all through the night. Friday, I got to North Carolina. It was 7.5 hours in the car by myself. I played I played Saturday and Sunday all day long. And then I drove those 7.5 hours back late Sunday night. I remember getting home at like 4 a.m. I showered, I got my stuff unpacked, and I went to bed, and 30 minutes later, my alarm went off and I had to get up and go to work, and I did landscaping. And so it was brutal. I mean, it was brutal, but I bring that up and I tell you guys that because I put a lot of time into what I was doing. I really did let the rubber hit the road or meet the road. And I really did prove to myself that I was serious about this. I was committed to becoming a better athlete in the sport of pickleball. I was committed to becoming a 5.0 player. And from the day one, I realized that I wanted to accomplish big things in this sport. And I just knew I would do whatever it took to do that. And so fast forward to April of 2018, it was the US Open. And it was the first time that I was going to be exposed to pickleball on a national level, like at a bigger scale than just like a regional tournament. And I just being really transparent and really real with you guys, that was a really tough time in my life at that point. I was struggling a little bit with financial stuff. I had gone through the divorce and was coming out of that. And I remember money was tight. Money was tight. And I remember I had to pay for my plane ticket. I had to pay for the $185 that it took to register. I had to pay for the place to stay down there. So it was just, I think I spent close to $1,000. But I remember thinking, this is going to pay off. I just knew in my gut, I'm going to go to the US Open, and I think it's going to pay off. Something good is going to happen, and good things are going to happen from this. And I didn't know exactly what was going to happen, but I knew it was going to be something awesome. While I was down there, one of the days that I wasn't playing, I happened to be just going through, checking out like the tents and the booths and stuff like that. And I stumbled on Monarch. Monarch had a booth there. They were giving away free pickleballs. And oddly enough, because of all the social media stuff that I was doing, the social media aspect, I'd kind of created some momentum with that. And while I was in a conversation with a young group that was under that booth, in that booth, he asked me what my name was. And I said, my name's Scott Golden, but they call me the Golden Boy. And when I said that, he lit up, like his face lit up. His name was Riley Burgess. Riley lit up like a Christmas tree. And he said, I know who you are. He said, this is what he said. He goes, you're that famous guy on the pickleball forum. And I turned red and I was like, stop. I was like, that's embarrassing. Don't say that, you know? And after that conversation, I left walking away from that thinking, you know, those were cool people, not knowing that 4.5 months later, I would be signing a deal with Monarch and Dick's Sporting Goods. And Dick's Sporting Goods, actually, that's their in-house brand. So that Monarch is something that they started around, I think, 2 years ago. And it was just awesome to realize that with money being tight and all the things going on in my life personally, I made that decision to go. And so here we are tonight talking to you guys. I'm so excited and so thrilled that I made that decision to go. And that was the good thing that came out of that. You know, I've got a huge future with them. And it's just so incredible and so humbling.
That's awesome. What a great story.
Yeah, definitely. That's great. And I can't think of a more deserving person to get a nice sponsorship like that. I mean, like I said before, you're by far one of the most passionate people that I know in regards to the pickleball world. So yeah, I love that. That's an awesome story. I'm very, very happy for you, and looking forward to seeing where things go for you from here.
Thanks, guys. And, you know, one quick side thing on that, if you guys don't mind if I say this, you know, people ask me all the time, you know, how do you get sponsored? And I'm sure that question comes up a lot. You know, people are playing and they want to get better and they want to know how to get sponsored and stuff like that. And the biggest thing I can tell anybody that's watching this interview tonight, if you just listen to what I'm saying to this and just hear the words that I'm trying to convey here, it's important to understand that when you want to become sponsored, you have to set yourself apart from the average pickleball player, right? You know, to get sponsored, it's such a it's just such a privilege. I guess I should say that like that. It's a privilege to be sponsored with any company. And so the biggest thing I can tell somebody if they want to get sponsored is, you know, drill, practice, play a lot, but be willing to do whatever it takes, right? So I threw caution to the wind when I was in 2017. And that, I think, was the biggest difference for me, was that I knew I was going to do whatever it took to get sponsored. I knew I was going to do whatever it took to become a 5.0 player. You know, no excuses, no, you know, oh, that tournament's a little too far or whatever. Literally, guys, anybody that asked me to play in a tournament anywhere, I was willing to jump in the car, book a flight, and just go, just do it. And that's how you get noticed. That's how good things happen. You put yourself in a position to get sponsored, but you got to be willing to do the things that other people aren't willing to do. I mean, that's just the truth, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's very cool. And we've got a comment on the Facebook channel from Riley Burgess saying Scott forgot to mention that he didn't have any shoes on. Not sure what that means.
Oh man. Well, I am known for losing everything. And I was at the US Open and I brought one pair of shoes to the US Open and I lost that pair of shoes somehow. I don't even know how. But I think one night after we finished playing some rec games that night at the US Open in Naples, I think I took those shoes off and I had like a pair of loafers or something, like house shoes or whatever. So I slipped the house shoes on. And for whatever reason, I left my awesome tennis shoes, court shoes, sitting there that night. And come to find out, they did get turned in. Security did end up having them in Lost and Found. But yeah, the story goes that I was barefoot whenever I did meet Riley, who ended up sponsoring me. So that is a funny story with that right there.
That's awesome. That's cool.
Nice.
No shoes and still got the sponsorship. I like that.
Man, then maybe that's how he didn't forget me. He was like,
Right.
that's that crazy dude with no shoes walking around the US Open.
Yeah, and actually, Riley did say that he feels that was a key point in the first Monarch interaction.
Boom. And just going back to that sponsorship with them, I think when you get sponsored with somebody, it needs to be a good fit for both sides. And one thing I can tell you is it's been a perfect fit with Monarch, and Riley has been a crucial part of me getting that sponsorship. I mean, he said to me early on, like, I don't know exactly how this is going to go. I don't know exactly the X's and O's of getting you sponsored, because at the time they had not sponsored anybody in the sport of pickleball, but he knew that was the next step for them. And he said, Scott, I really believe this. You're going to be our golden boy, for lack of a better word. So, at that time, back in April, neither one of us knew exactly how it was going to go and how it was all going to be unfolding. But, it just has been such just an easy flowing, good fit for both sides. And I just think I'm going to be with them for a long, long time,
That's great, man. So there you go. You heard it first in the Eddie and Webby podcast. To get sponsored, lose your shoes. There you go.
Yep.
Right?
There you go. Lose your shoes.
Yep. That's awesome, man. Great story. That was cool. That was really cool to hear that perspective too, because I've always wondered that, like, how do you even get sponsored? Like,
right.
It's just it's not something that, like, it's not common knowledge. I wouldn't think.
Yeah, it's not necessarily common knowledge. And go ahead.
I was just going to say, like, do you have any advice for us? Because I'm pretty sure after this episode, I mean, there's probably going to be hundreds of sponsors pounding on our doors. So, like, do you have any suggestions for us? Any advice on how to choose one of the hundreds of sponsors that are going to be demanding us?
Well, I mean, clearly my first question to both of you guys is, do you have shoes on right now? Because if you do, you're not going to get sponsored.
Yeah,
it's just
I do
that
not.
obvious.
As a matter of fact, here we go. Shoeless.
Yeah.
I'm shoeless.
Boom.
Yeah, we're golden now.
Shoeless. Eddie and Webby, the shoeless podcast gurus.
I love it.
You never wear shoes during a podcast. Never.
No, bad luck.
Rule number one.
Yeah.
Bad luck. And before I got kicked out of the facility, I actually had my shoes off, but it had there were some wet puddles out in the parking lot, so I actually had to put my shoes on during that small intervention there, or the time where I wasn't on. But to be on a serious note about that, one of the biggest things that I try to tell people about, getting sponsored or improving your game, getting better, ultimately at the end of the day, it's about pushing yourself. It's about challenging yourself to get better, right? Playing your comfort zone, thinking outside the box. Those type of things are what's going to help you get better. And when people start to take note, to notice things, and you don't necessarily have to tell everybody at some point how good you are and how good you're doing. You just let your play show on the court. And the big thing for me was I always played up. No matter what it was, whether it be rec games or tournament play, I was always challenging myself to play against the best players. And that's now I will say, on a side note with that, there's a lot of people that say, well, the better people in my area won't let me play. They won't let me play with them. I'm not a 4-5 or I'm not a 4-0 yet, and they won't let us in. The simple answer to that is go work your butt off so much, drilling, practicing, working on your craft, that when you do get your one opportunity, you smoke them, you beat them. You know, when you beat somebody, they can't argue with you anymore about should you play or should you not play. If I beat you, then it's almost like the rite of passage. You know, you should let me come play again because I proved, not by my words, but by what I did with my actions, that I deserve to be on the
Right.
court with you, right? And so there was a time where I started getting better and I started kind of figuring the game out a little bit, and some of the pieces of the puzzle started to fit. And then when I was able to beat some of those people that didn't think I should be on the court with them, then you start getting text messages saying, hey, we're playing this Saturday at 8 a.m. before the other big group plays. And you start getting invites to these things. And then you get around better play, and it forces you to get better, right? It forces you to improve just by being around those people.
No, that's great advice. Yeah, totally agree. I mean, if they're not welcoming you on, just get better, and then finally beat them.
Yeah.
Show them, hey, I'm here, I'm ready. Let's do this. I love it.
Yeah, for sure. I agree.
Man, well, I feel like so much information from this podcast. It's my head's still spinning right now, and it's not just from the Funky Buddha beer here. So, can't thank you enough, Scott. Like this has been awesome. Just a great conversation with you. You're a very inspiring, motivating guy. You've already done so much in your 2 years here in pickleball. I can't wait to see what the next few years look like. I think that what you're doing with live streaming it's like setting the foundation for this grassroots movement of something awesome that's going to happen with pickleball, for getting it out there. And just thank you, man. Thank you for all that you do for pickleball.
Yeah, seriously, you can't definitely can't thank you enough. I'm just super honored that you joined us here tonight. I've been wanting to talk to you for a very long time, and it's amazing how many people that are still fairly new to the sport that are making such an impact. We've got Scott here that's only been playing for a couple of years. We had Gizmo on a couple episodes ago. He's only been playing for 1 year. I've only been playing for 1 year, and look at the impact I've had. I mean, man, it's crazy.
That's awesome.
I love it.
Yep. Real quick.
I mean, I do want to give you guys a lot of credit. Go ahead.
No, go ahead, man.
Well, I just going to say thank you guys for doing the podcast. I mean, this is another integral part of helping our sport grow from the grassroots movement, from the ground up. I mean, we need people like Eddie and Webby doing these podcasts, getting people on here and interviewing them. And you guys just bring such a refreshing mindset to this. And you guys are just fun guys. I mean, you're just fun guys to be around and hang out with. And the beer review, that's obviously a no-brainer. That's a classic move by you guys. So you got to love it, man. You got to love it.
Thank you.
Oh, thanks, man. I truly appreciate that. But yeah, I mean, that's been my goal. Like immediately when I got into this sport, I noticed that there was just something lacking. It was way too much geared towards the elderly and the retirement community, especially in my area. I mean, I'm sure other parts of the country, there's a lot more of the youth movement going on, but in Southeast Michigan, there's not a whole lot of that going on. So as a lot of people know, I recently became a USAPA ambassador. The reason that we wrote the pickleball anthem and did that music video was to try to get something a little more hip out there, to get some more interest and get the word out there. Because before that, like, I looked on YouTube and pretty much everything music related was just like real twangy country music or Christmas song parodies, which those are fine, but I mean, the youth of the nation isn't going to tune in or be interested in that. So yeah, I mean, I love this sport, and anything that we can do to spread the word and get more people into it and get the youth involved, that's what we're all about.
Yep.
Yeah, totally. Love it.
Well, Scott, so if people want to follow you and kind of see you along this journey, how do they go about doing that?
Sure, absolutely. Golden Boy Pickleball. You can on YouTube. I have a YouTube page. It's Golden Boy Pickleball. And then on Facebook, I've got Scott Golden, which is my personal page. And then I just created a new athlete page because I maxed out 5,000 friends is what they cap you at. So people were messaging me. I was getting, 10 to 15 messages every day of people wanting to send me a friend request. And it wasn't, I wasn't capable of doing that. I had to delete people. So what I decided to do through talking to Riley and just some different things that we had going on, I said, okay, I think it makes sense at this point to create an athlete page where you can get 1 million people to like that athlete page. So Golden Boy Pickleball on Facebook is also that's my athlete page. So if you send me a friend request and it says that you can't add me because I have 5,000 friends, then go add me, like my athlete page, and then you can follow me on there. I'm trying to get that more active and start doing more stuff on that for sure.
Cool. Well, good. Well, you heard it, guys. Everybody go out, check it out. I know I personally love your content. I watch it all the time. Probably more than I should, to be honest with you, but it's good stuff. So yeah.
I rely on you whenever you're in those, whenever you're at those tournaments, especially nationals. I rely on your coverage because just the ESPN, like, it's cool that they have a few live feeds here and there, but it just doesn't cut it. We don't get the inside look like you provide us. So yeah, keep up the great work.
You got it. And actually, guys, I'm at Springfield, Missouri for a reason. I'm not just up here for fun. I mean, I'm actually going to be playing in a tournament this weekend, and it's going to be a really good tournament. It's actually going to be indoor because the weather is not fantastic here during the winter. But so be looking for some live streaming this weekend, some commentary as well. And then the only last thing, if you don't mind, if I just forgot to mention this earlier, but there's a paddle coming out. It's called the Golden Axe. It'll be coming out first of the year, early 2019. And it should be up for sale in the Dick's Sporting Goods stores by, late spring, early summer is what the goal is there. But I'll be able to do some fun things with that early as soon as it gets approved and finalized early 2019. I'm going to be giving away some with some giveaways and some cool stuff. I'll be able to do some neat stuff out of that. And so everybody just be looking out for that. And it's going to be, it's going to be a lot of fun. 2019, there's a lot of good things in store. And also be looking for some big things from Dick's Sporting Goods in the way of pickleball. They're going to start really, I think, ramping things up at their stores, and they see the growth of pickleball and what's going on, and they're not crazy. So they know the direction it's heading. So there's some big things in store, guys. It's really, really exciting times.
Nice.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and I definitely noticed the last time I was at Dick's Sporting Goods, the pickleball section got a lot bigger than it was a year ago. That's for sure.
Yep, that's awesome. Well, thank you again, Scott. Good luck at the tournament this weekend, man. Don't be a stranger. I'm sure we'll be in contact more often, and I look forward to those live streams. And did we lose him?
You got it, guys. Thanks. Y'all have a great night.
Oh, there he is.
All right, you too, man. Thank you.
Thank you. And I do want to let you know you just broke the record for our longest podcast yet, so congratulations on that. I apologize to Drew Carrymore. We might get another angry message from Drew Carrymore, who's been wanting us to shorten our episodes, but no, we're going to make this one the longest one yet.
Yeah,
Screw you, Drew Carrymore.
That's right. You don't know what you're talking about, Drew. Yeah, we're at an hour and 50 minutes. So, that was awesome, man. Webby, I can't tell you, like,
oh yeah,
that was so cool. He's such a motivating, inspiring guy. That was great.
Yeah, and I feel like we could have easily talked for another hour or more, and it still would have been a great episode and super great information from Scott. But yeah, he's such a great guy, such a passionate guy about the sport, and yeah, that was awesome. Loved it.
Yeah, that was cool. I say we wrap it up. A couple more updates we want to give real quick. I am going to be playing in a tournament next weekend at East Naples. It is the Florida State Pickleball Championships. I'm going to be playing men's doubles with a blind partner. I don't even know if that's the right way to say it, but a partner I don't know from other side of the state. Never met him, never even played with him. In fact, I don't even think we've coordinated a time to play together before next Friday. But anyway, and then
So
I
you're
also
playing with a blind partner. Like, do you have to like let them know, like, okay, they're hitting a lob now, hit it, swing now with your left hand, no, right hand.
after I said that,
playing with a blind partner.
after I said that, I knew that's that somebody would think that's what I meant, but no. My partner, for all I know, has ability to see out of both eyes. I'm not sure, but I'm excited about that. And then I also convinced a woman in my neighborhood to play with me for mixed doubles. So I'm excited to do that as well. So that's going on.
And let me get this straight. You're playing in mixed doubles and not women's doubles?
We've already gone through this. I already apologized to everybody for calling it women's doubles. And now I learned my lesson. You keep bringing it up, though. It's mixed doubles. Mixed, yeah, not women's doubles.
I will never let you live that down.
Yeah.
It was a great classic moment in Eddie and Webby history that will go down in infamy.
I'm still waiting for you to screw up. Like you have this like professional video background to where everything you say is correct and accurate. And I'm over here just blabbering at my mouth. But one of these times you're going to screw up and it's going to be bad. And I'm going to throw it in your face every opportunity I can. It's going down.
Well, just good luck with that. I am a true professional. And good luck with that, my friend.
I feel like I totally ruined your surprise earlier about what you were supposed to be announcing next, didn't I?
Yeah, you really did. And it pretty much ruined this entire episode. And I think we should just delete this episode as soon as it ends because of it. Because that was the whole reason we had this episode, was for me to reveal the surprise that, yes, I will be flying down to Naples, Florida to join Eddie for a men's doubles tournament. Oh, yeah.
Yes. The East Naples Winter Classic at the end of January. Super excited about that. I actually already have a mixed partner for that as well. Nicole Miller, who chimed in earlier. She's she's stuck playing with me. I hope she wants to, but I feel bad for her. She's stuck playing with me. But oh well. It'll be fun.
But I signed up for the mixed doubles as needing a partner. So if anybody is going to be in the Naples area during what's the date? January 25th, 26th, something like that.
Whatever that weekend is around there. Yeah.
If anybody is going to be in Naples and wants to play with a solid 3.0 player, this guy needs a partner. So let me know.
When it comes to 3.0 players, you got two of them right here, and we are solid 3.0 players. You can count on that.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Well, this was our 28th episode, which means there's, 28 of you out there. You know who you are, and we do appreciate you. Before we wrap it up, Webby, anything else we want to talk about today?
I don't think so. I think this is a good time to wrap things up.
Cool. Well, we love feedback, good or bad. Throw it in the comments below if you're on YouTube, on Facebook, Twitch, just whatever. You guys know how to give us feedback, so just go ahead and do it. You can also download the Anchor app. Boop, 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 boop. You can leave us a voice message that we will likely play on the air if it's good. So go ahead and do that.
Yes.
You can follow us on Twitter and Instagram, both at Eddie and Webby. I mentioned Facebook multiple times here. We're definitely doing a lot of stuff with Facebook now, so go ahead and follow us on there. We'll be posting a lot to the Pickleball forum as well until they kick us out.
I do want to say one more thing here. We got a fresh comment here on Facebook. Speaking of Facebook, Ryan Sheffield says, I'm a 3.0 and Golden lets me play with him. I mean, that if we needed any more reasons to talk about how great of a guy Scott Golden is, I mean, we've got he's a 5.0 plus player, and he plays with 3.0 players. I mean, that's pretty awesome right there. Not everybody is going to do that.
Yep. Totally agree. That's awesome.
And Eden says, respect Scott Golden. And yes, everybody should respect Scott Golden. I agree with you.
Yeah. Mad respect. Download the Pickleball Anthem. We played the music video for you guys today, but if you want your own copy that you can listen to from your digital media platforms, go ahead and download it. We always appreciate it when you do.
Yes, and we said it at the beginning of the episode, but if you like what we're doing, subscribe on YouTube. It's as easy as that. You click subscribe, you click the little bell for a notification anytime we post a video, and you'll always be notified. I mean, it's the cool thing to do. All the cool kids are doing it.
All the kids are doing it. I know we brought it up earlier too, but we've had a couple people reach out to us and say, for how many videos you guys have and for how many views you have, you do not have very many subscribers. And so please, if you're interested and you like what we do, let us know by going to our YouTube channel and subscribing. That way you can be notified as new content comes out.
Yes, that is the best way to let us know that you appreciate what we're doing, is to subscribe, and we appreciate every single subscription that we get.
That's right. Well, on that note, I'm Eddie.
And until next time, this is Webby, not Eddie, signing off.
See ya.